I'm not a guy who likes... Don't pause too long on that one, I guess. You gotta watch where you put your pause.
Yeah. I wasn't going to jump on you with that one because I know where you're going.
Appreciate it. I'm not a guy who's ever been thrust into the limelight. I'm not a person who's ever been told they did a good job and been celebrated for doing a good job. So when it happens, people like that, one of two things happens. Either A, they shy away and try to hide themselves in closets and say, no, don't look at me, stop looking at me. No, no, no. Or they start craving more. I don't know where I stand on those things. I think I'm the first guy that wants to run away into a closet and say, don't look at me, don't look at me. It really throws me off when I hear things like from Pastor Chuck when he says, I'm proud of you, you're doing a good job. I'm like, I didn't do anything. There's a tendency I have to push it off and say, it's not me that's doing this. And it kind of is not me doing this. And it's all God, right? I want to say, give God the glory, don't give me the glory. But then I wrestle with what God says about me and who I am and how He's proud of me. And I've said it before that God's proud of each and every one of us. He's got your picture on His mantelpiece. He's like a granddaddy. When you meet somebody, he says, let me show you my grandchildren. You guys have nieces and nephews or to just say, hey, have I showed you a picture of my niece? Or have I showed you a picture of my grandchild? Or have I showed you a picture of my son? Those annoying people that, just want to show you every single picture they have of their kids, and they have 20 kids, and you're like, I'm touching a plane in like 20 minutes. I don't have time to look at these things. But, okay. But it's what it is. We celebrate what the good things God does, and we celebrate the good things the people God uses, and it kind of goes along with a little bit of what I'm talking about tonight, believe it or not. Because we are in the middle of a series. We're at the end of the series. This is the last night I'm going to be preaching on this topic. You can celebrate if you want to, but we're living as the left behind. What does it mean to live as the people of God on this planet we call Earth? And 1 Peter is where I've been going through getting all this stuff from. I know it's been odd to preach out of, if you're going to preach on end times there, you're supposed to be preaching out of the Revelations or out of Daniel or something. But, I don't want to give you a step-by-step process of what's going to happen when the world ends. I want to give us, how do we live as the people of God on this planet, the people of promise. Which brings us to 1 Peter chapter 5. And we've talked about holiness. We've talked about community. We've talked about hope. We talked about love. How you've got to have all of those. And all of those tie in together in one way or another. Love unites everything. Love unites us as a community. We're all in this together. We got to live a holy and productive life. And here we come to 1 Peter chapter 5, where he adds another word that we've got to deal with. Humility. Pride. We can get all puffed up and looked at, and these are the things that I do. This is me. Look at me, world. I've got my picture on a board. I'm on YouTube preaching to thousands of people. Well, one or two people. I speak every this. I am doing such an awesome job, God. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And then we get to 1 Peter chapter 5, verses 1 through 11. Now, as an elder myself, I will no witness of the sufferings of Christ, as well as one who shares in the glory to be revealed. I exhort the elders among you to tend the flock of God that is in your charge, exercising the oversight, not under compulsion, but willingly, as God would have you do it, not for sordid gain, but eagerly. Do not lord it over those in your charge, but be examples to the flock. And when the chief shepherd appears, you will win the crown of glory that never fades away. In the same way, you who are younger must accept the authority of the elders, and all of you must clothe yourselves with humility in your dealings with one another. For God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that he may exalt you in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you. Discipline yourselves. Keep alert. Like a roaring lion, your adversary, the devil, prowls around looking for someone to devour. Resist him. Resist him, steadfast in your faith, for you know that your brothers and sisters in all the world are undergoing the same kinds of suffering. And after you have suffered for a little while, the God of all grace, who has called you to his eternal glory in Christ, will himself restore, support, strengthen, and establish you. To him be the power forever and ever. Amen. Living a life of humility. The first thing Peter talks about, the first people he talks to in this are elders. Elders. Those guys are those of us who are in charge, the ones who are supposed to be leading, teaching, and presenting it. And he tells us that we've got to do it in an act of in a humble way. I've heard of preachers who go up there and they preach this great sermon and they tie it all together, and then they have it all homiletically correct. Point A, point B, point C, subpoint B, and both of them they perfectly put together a illustration, an application, an explanation. And their illustration was so beautifully put that it made the people in the front row weep, and they're like, look what I did! I did a great sermon! It was wonderful! I'm the best preacher in the world! And then they're coming out, see what I did there? See? And they were going into I've been to minister, I went to Bible school, where I saw preachers and people preparing to go into the ministry so that they could drive the nice cars, so they can work at the biggest and best churches. No, certainly not somebody at a Bible school going into...
Certainly not somebody in the Northeast.
Certainly not. Certainly not somebody wanting to drive the best car, get the pastor's parking spot right there in front, and they pull in their nice big BMWs, all shiny and shimmery, and they just got them clean, polished, waxed, redone 15 times yesterday. They paid for every one of them. And there are preachers out there like that, who are only in the ministry for the money. Oh, boy, did God play a big joke on that.